All right. I start everything. All right. Matthew McConaughey over here. Matthew McConaughey in a lot of car ads yesterday. So yeah, it's Monday, day after the Super Bowl. It's February, I don't know what, 3rd, I think. 40 degrees, gonna go up to 50 today. So keep that in mind when anybody says it's too cold in New York to bike. Still it's 50 degrees in February. And that's crazy. That's global warming, thanks in large part to cars. Thank you, cars, for making it a nice balmy 50 degrees in New York in January and February. We are riding down 7th Avenue here with 58th Street. I'm just wearing a sweater. I am wearing little gloves, little cloth things, but not the big boy mittens that I normally wear. Let's see. Yesterday was an interesting day. We took out the cargo bike, did a lot of biking on it. We went down to Brookfield Place, which is all the way down in next near the World Trade Center. Came back, that was like 20 miles. Then went to a Super Bowl party on the Upper East Side. Came back and the battery finally died on the cargo bike, leaving my wife to pedal the last, I don't know, 4 avenues. It wasn't much. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was a good, maybe 8 minutes of biking with 0 power. So biking 2 kids on a 100-pound bike with yourself, your kids, is a lot. I've tried, that bike is a heavy bike. It is not really meant for not having power, but it was good to know, like, how it felt to be out of power, kind of on your own. Oh, look at all these cyclists out. 4 of us. We are a peloton. What else? Let's see. Car commercials. So yesterday was the Super Bowl. We watched a little bit. There's all the kind of car commercials that are funny because they're insanely disconnected from reality, undermine public transit, and push carbon. Oh, this guy's an asshole. AH427S. Look at this blue Honda here, speeding through. I want to throw something at him now. I'm not going to, but he deserves something to be thrown at him. Yeah, so you got John Legend doing a car commercial. I don't know, you got Porsche getting into it. They're like, oh, here's an electric, we have an electric Porsche. Let's do a car chase, 100 Porsches from the Porsche Museum or whatever, driving through a town in Italy or wherever they, instead of on the highways where they belong, they're speeding through basically empty places that are obviously walkable places that, it's hilarious because probably in order to even film these things, you have to take an area that is swarming with humans, right? Like an extremely walkable, calm, relaxing place that doesn't normally have any cars, and then you know, the production crew shuts the whole thing down, right? Pays everybody to like leave, keep the streets clear so that they can run Porsches, you know, through a closed course through town. Just like a crazy concept, right? And all to sell an electric Porsche, which, like, okay, there's benefit there, but it's still a car. And you know, like, you should be pushing you know, public transit. Like, ultimately they're just cars. They're just car commercials. I don't blame them. That's capitalism. I don't blame them for trying to sell more. That's whatever. That's what the Super Bowl is all about. Just, you know, for once I'd love to see like a bike ad, you know, or like public transit ad, and not these sort of generic kind of, it's a car, guys, like, get over it. There's not much you can do. It's funny, it's memorable, you know. John Legend is the sexiest man alive, so that's funny. But, you know, whatever. Selling cars is going to destroy the planet. So if you're part of that, then, you know, it's hard to look back at your legacy, I think, and be like, what did I do in the most important, you know, decade to curb climate change and global warming while, like, you know, the world was on fire and da 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 da. I was, you know, in the Super Bowl selling cars, you know, ads for car commercials to try to push more of the stuff. I don't know. 41st Street, here we are. One thing that's funny is like this idea that you have to make eye contact with drivers. Have you ever tried to make eye contact with any driver these days in any of these cars? Like, if you look at the cars, they're really hard to see through. You can barely make out there's a driver, right? They're very antisocial in that sense. Tons of these cars are tinted, and obviously they're glass, so they reflect all the light, you know? So they're very reflective, which makes it very challenging to even see through them. So this idea, like, maybe if these cars were all like tiny convertibles or something, where everybody was just open, you know, and you could see everybody, and there was a very human element to it, which is really how biking is. You know, you see people, you can say hello, you can kind of wave at them, you make eye contact. You actually do make eye contact with cyclists. That's the thing. That's why there's so much drama between cyclists and pedestrians, I think. Because it's very easy to, like, look at the eyes of a cyclist that's about to hit you, or running through whatever, or a pedestrian like stepping into the roadway with their phone in their hand. And in reality, if you look into the windows of any of these cars, you can see, like, you see buildings reflected, and then you know, people inside sitting down comfortably in their little cocoons, their metal cages, generally doing the same things that anybody else doing, looking at their phones, as the guy's taking a selfie, or, you know, taking pictures, reading a book, you know, things that you would normally do on a bus or subway, but they're doing it in a car in the driver's seat. I think that's obviously a dangerous thing. Here's a billion people walking across the street here at 35th. Same thing here at 34th. Like, look at this, just, we have 4 lanes of car traffic. Makes no sense. Look at how many people are on the sides here. This guy just honking me? Did 6K 5'4" just honking me? I don't know. They might say, oh, I was honking because it was an emergency. You know, I was letting you know that I was there. Reality, I don't know, it's debatable. Honking is a very terrible form of communication. I've said that many, many times. Because you can't really convey anything can't convey what you're trying to say. You're just, you know, beep, 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 beep. Don't hit me, bro. Yeah, that's fun. I thought of a great idea on my on our ride yesterday. So we were in the rain, riding with my wife. We had the kids in the cargo bike. I was taking the city bike, and inter-county Bakers. See, this is a pretty terrible example. Like, his wheel is actually on the paint on the stop line, but the stop line is like 2 feet from the crosswalk. So, you know, he's not doing anything wrong, but it's just the infrastructure's failed us, right? So the front bumper is like literally, you can't see anybody. But it probably, the stop line should be like 20 feet behind the what's it called? The crosswalk. This gentleman is on the phone. I'm just gonna say hello. Good morning. Hello. He's got his thing going. I mean, to be fair, he's doing something wrong, but the construction guys whose truck is taking up the whole lane also doing something wrong there. They, I think, are legally obligated, if you're doing construction in the bike lane and you have to put a bike lane, guys.
Bike lane.
I'm so sorry. I'm not sure who would be sorry if I just, you know, if you accidentally hit somebody. I think in that case, well, I'm very careful. I don't even ding at people. It's a very unpopular opinion, I think, is if somebody's in the bike lane just walking, I just sort of let them be and just kind of chill, you know? I'm like, you know, I get it. The sidewalks are filled. Pretty shitty. All right. Thank you for watching. This was a lot of fun. biketalk.nyc coming at you. Like and subscribe.